Welcome to Senior Break. I am Marie May from Addison Township.
And I'm Dawn Medici with Oxford Township Parks and Recreation. And today we would like to welcome from Sullivan's Law Office in Oxford, Alaina Sullivan. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for being our guest today. We had you at our senior center this fall, and you talked about how to avoid probate and properly plan your estate. And I thought it would be a really good opportunity for you to come and join us today on Senior Break and tell us a little bit all about yourself and what you offer. And we talk about the whys.
And how important is it to have one?
Right.
Yes, thank you.
A lot of people don't.
Right.
But because they don't think it's important.
Right. So
maybe that. Yeah.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up here in Oxford and in your journey to where we're at today.
Well, thank you for having me. So yes, I have been an attorney for next year. It'll have been 20 years. So it's my 20-year anniversary of being an attorney, which seems crazy to me. I'm not a young attorney anymore. I joke with my husband. I've been licensed officially for 20 years. I was licensed as an attorney in Indiana in 2006. I started my practice in Indiana as a family law attorney, actually. And so I've done a little bit of everything.
Okay.
I started as a custody divorce attorney. And so I did a little bit of that. I did a little bit of practice for the state doing Department of Child Services prosecution.
Cases? Oh,
Cases.
wow.
I did termination of parental rights, which was unpleasant. But it kind of threw you into the courtroom and you got a lot of legal experience terminating parental rights. And I did that for about 3 years and I had to stop. That was too much. Saw some stuff. And I did some work for legal aid, representing the rights of people who couldn't represent themselves. And I decided to start my own practice in Indiana and did mostly family law cases and some estate planning cases. But in 2016, we had to move up here to Michigan. My husband changed jobs. He is originally from Grand Blanc, so he is a Michigander.
Okay.
And he actually went to Kettering University, and he is a mechanical engineer, and he got a job for, Chrysler.
Okay.
Or Stellantis or whatever they go by. And so we liked Oxford, and I fell in love with the town here. And I decided to switch my practice and rebrand myself for just estate planning.
Okay.
And that's actually what I really love to do.
It kind of made sense with the move. Why not?
Yeah, I just decided I didn't want to do family law anymore. I don't
Plus all the background.
Yeah.
All the different things you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to help people. And I don't really, family law is not really my passion. I wanted to really, help people and decided this is the better time to do that. So I, started my practice here in Oxford in 2016 and kind of went from there.
Okay.
So I've been licensed here in Michigan since 2016. And we, live in Oxford. I have a family. I have a daughter here that goes to Oxford Middle School. I'm a parishioner at St. Joseph, so we've just developed a family and a practice here and have gone from there, and we love it, the community, and the community has really taken us in.
Yeah.
I've been best of the best here in Oxford for 3 years.
That's great.
I love everything about Oxford, and my practice has flourished, and I feel like Oxford's my home, and I'm going to be here for the long haul. I love doing estate planning. I love sitting down with people and coming up with a plan for, their
What's
future.
best.
I love coming up with a plan that's going to be best for them. An estate plan is not a one size fits all.
Right.
It's, you tailor it for what's going to be best for their situation.
So that's what I really enjoyed is I sat down with her earlier this year, or almost a year ago now maybe, and that's what I really truly liked is that you asked us questions got to know us and understand what our needs were and what we wanted, and helped us build our plan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're awesome at doing that.
Yeah, and a lot of people put it off. No one really wants to sit there and talk about death. It's not pleasant, but it's something that's going to affect us all. And the last thing you want is to not have anything in place, because if something, we're all going to pass away. It's unpleasant, but it's going to happen. And you don't want to leave your family with a mess, because probate is something you don't want to put your family through. It's not, it's not something that's horrible, but it's expensive and it's time consuming and it's a lot for your family to have to deal with.
Yeah.
They're already upset when you pass away.
Right.
And to make it neater and easier for your family to deal with is really ideal.
Right. Well, it makes it painless too, right? It makes it easier for your loved ones to work through it and.
So what is probate?
So that's a lot of people want to know, what is probate? I want to avoid it, So what it is basically is it's a legal process to tie up your life, essentially. So if you pass away in the state of Michigan and you don't have a trust or beneficiaries on all of your property, your estate has to go through the probate process, which means if your family wants to sell your home or have access to your bank accounts, they have to basically
Ask the court?
Ask the court for permission. They have to do what's called an inventory, which means they have to fill out an inventory sheet listing all of your assets on this inventory sheet and a value of what each value of those assets are.
So the family member has to put that together to give to the court?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
And they have to pay what's called an inventory fee in order to access those
Documents.
assets.
Okay.
And they have to receive what are called letters of authority to receive authority to sell your house or access your bank accounts.
So if somebody doesn't have a will, would it be best, and they really don't want to do that because that generation sometimes doesn't want to, the older generation, would it be better if it at least make a list of everything you have? Would it be better to say to your parent, at least make a list if you're, so that, because that would be a lot of work for somebody to go through somebody else's items and documents to try to figure out what they had.
Yeah.
So would that be good for them to do? I mean,
For
the best thing I know is to get an attorney,
Yeah.
But if they just refuse,
Well, for personal property, like your stuff in your house, if you want certain items to go to certain people, like your rings and your artwork and things like that, yes. If you have a house and you don't want to do a trust, what I usually recommend is do what's called a ladybird deed. And what that is it's a deed whereby you own your house throughout your lifetime, and if you still have your house upon your death, you list what are called beneficiaries on your deed. And upon your death, on that deed, your house will go to those individuals listed on your deed.
okay, and that's through an attorney, the ladybug?
Yeah, an attorney would draw that up.
Okay,
And it doesn't say Lady Bird on the top of the deed. It'll either say quitclaim or warranty deed,
okay,
but it'll pass to those individuals outside of probate.
okay,
And that way the house doesn't go through probate. It'll just go to those people, and those people can sell the house upon your death if you still own it.
okay.
The alternative would be to recommend doing a trust. But if you don't do either of those options, the house will go through probate.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you have like personal items and you want to make sure that your personal items go to certain people, take pictures or put Post-it notes and say, I want these things to go to certain people so there's no argument.
Okay.
Because you'd be surprised how many people argue over those little items.
That's even if you have a trust or anything. Okay.
Yeah.
And can you list those things in the trust as well?
Yeah. Like I usually say, put an exhibit together, attach it to the trust or will, and say, I want my ring to go to this person. I want my, TV to go to this person, because people argue over those things.
Really?
And they're not
TV?
worth a huge amount of.
Yeah.
People. I mean, they argue over the smallest things, and they're not worth a huge amount of money, but
Right.
it's
But-
sentimental value.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, we have to take a break, so when we come back, I've got more questions. I'm
I
sure
do
you've
too.
got
I
more
have lots,
questions,
yes.
so yes.
Sure.
We'll be right back.
Who can you turn to for news you can trust? Your local TV and radio broadcasters. You trust us to keep you safe during times of crisis and to deliver the weather, sports, and entertainment you rely on every day. We bring you the facts you need to make decisions that matter. And as misinformation floods social media, you can trust your local stations to deliver the truth. Text TV to 52886 and tell Congress you rely on your local stations for trusted news.
Welcome back to Senior Break. And before break, we were talking a little bit about probate and how to avoid that and what you should do. You said a ladybird deed
Yes.
and or as a
Trust,
trust.
yes.
A trust. So that's great information. So I guess one of my first questions is if I contacted you, and I wanted to come in and start from scratch, what does that process look like? How do we get started?
So the first step would be to schedule a consultation. And those are usually about like 45 minutes long. And consultations with me are free.
Okay.
So, and I like to have consultations just be like a conversation, and consultations are just a conversation and an educational process because a lot of people don't know what they don't know. I get a lot of people who come in and say that they've read something or someone told them something, and I want to educate people on the process.
Which is very important.
Yes.
Yeah, and everyone's goals are different, and it just depends on the age of the person who comes in the door. You know, if someone has young kids, their goals are they want to protect things from probate, but they also want to look after their minor children.
Right.
Whereas someone who's a retiree is looking to protect their assets and also planning on, protecting their assets also if they end up going into nursing care. So it's just different goals.
Right.
So I want to get to know the person and get to know their goals so that I can tailor their plan for their needs. And when I have an intake form that they give them to fill out so that I can prepare their estate plan. And I always say when you're filling out your intake form, fill it out as if something were going to be happening to you today. Don't read too much into the intake form because a lot of people do that and they panic and
Right.
plan too far in advance. A good estate plan is something that you're going to look at with your spouse or loved ones every 2 years because
That's what I was going to ask. Like, how often should you look at it or
Yeah.
reevaluate?
because you're going to modify it, and things change. You know, if someone has minor children now, their kids are going to grow older, and eventually their kids are going to step into responsibilities.
Right.
And plan it as if something were going to happen to you today, and make changes in the future. Amendments are easy to make.
Right.
And then once they give me the intake form, that gives me everything that I need to draw up their documents.
So if they want the changes, they just write that after they already have the trust with you. They just write that on a piece of paper and then just go back to you and say, could you amend?
Yes.
That, okay, that's
Yeah,
easy
they
enough.
make an appointment with me and we can go over their changes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I regularly hear back from clients in a couple years,
Okay,
if they moved or if their kids have gotten married or,
Right.
we'll make changes from there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So we've done this intake form, right? And after the intake form, you put together the trust, and then do the clients then come back in and go over it with you again, or?
Yeah, once I draw up the documents, I will either email them drafts to review or mail them hard copy drafts, because some people don't like to look at the computer. I get that because my eyesight's going. And then we can go over the documents and any changes, any questions. Some people do have questions, some people don't have questions, and then we will meet for a signing.
Okay.
I think it's important that they know about the amendment, because I think that stops people from making a will, because first of all, they're
Yeah.
not really they haven't decided what, but just to know that they can just come back to you even
Yes.
after a year,
Yeah.
right, and change something. I think that's
Yes.
important to know.
'Cause it's not
they
set
think
in
once I
stone.
do this,
Right.
and then I change my mind.
Yeah.
So that's why they wait to do the will in the first place, I think.
Yeah, nothing's set in stone. You can change things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And things change.
Yeah.
Right.
'Cause
Your
life
family
is-
dynamics change, your jobs change, your
Yes.
anything.
And I often get people who have moved to a different state or have had attorneys draw up their I get documents from different attorneys and they want to modify that attorney's documents and I will change that attorney's documents because attorneys retire,
Right.
and they say, this attorney drew up this document, can you modify it? And I can do that too.
That's good to know.
So the main thing is to get the trust right away, just to keep it out of probate.
Yes.
And then you can make your changes as they come in.
needed.
That's the goal.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want to at least get the document drawn up so that you at least have something.
yes.
And I don't just draw, I don't just draw up trusts. I draw up also powers of attorney too. And because a full estate plan doesn't just include the will and the trust, it also includes financial power of attorney and medical power of attorney. So those documents also include, a medical power of attorney and financial power of attorney are documents about if you are alive but incapacitated and you can't speak for yourself. So who makes the financial decisions for you and medical decisions for you? And then also a living will, which is like advanced directives. Do you want to be on life support indefinitely? So all of those documents go
Are
into a full estate plan.
Okay, are a part of that estate.
Yeah.
And you really need an attorney to know those questions,
Yeah.
because
yeah.
I wouldn't know what to ask myself to write down,
Yeah,
so.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't go blind into that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's complicated,
right. Right, and you said not to go blind into that. So your recommendation would be to reach out to somebody local like yourself. Don't go to the internet.
Oh no, I know. I get a lot of
Right?
people who say
Okay.
I can go online and do it myself. Well, yeah, you could go online and do it yourself, but that's similar to going onto WebMD and researching medical issues.
Right.
I could do that too, but I should go to a doctor and ask medical questions.
Right.
It's hard. These things are hard. It's because I'll prepare these documents for clients, and they read them over, and they're like, I don't understand half of what I read. Well, it's because it's a lot of legalese, and that's why you have me
To help.
to help you.
Right.
Because that's why I went to law school. It's hard.
Right.
But that's also why you hire a doctor to do medical stuff for you.
Yes.
You're relying on that person's expertise.
And
But if you have
knowledge.
questions, I can help you,
Right.
and I'm happy to help.
Right.
And I can answer whatever questions you have.
Which is very important.
and I like too that you said you can, I know there was one of my seniors that said she told her grandchildren to put their name on the back of anything they want that's in her house.
Yeah.
just a little sticky on the back so she'd know. But I like that you said that you can just make a separate sheet.
I
And
recommend
you
it.
can put that into your will, your trust. You can just slide it in there, right? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, because you can
You don't have
change
to
it.
go, but do you have to go back to the attorney to do that, or you just slide that paper in there and that will?
I recommend with personal property, do it as an exhibit so you can change it because you're going to change your personal property all the time.
Okay.
That way you don't have to constantly go back to the attorney and update it because you're going to get rid of personal property all the time.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of people will give it to people ahead of time.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, at least my grandparents
Yeah.
did. I know they did because you can watch people enjoy the personal property before you die.
Yeah.
It's often better that way.
Yes, for sure. I agree with that.
That's true.
All
Well,
right,
we
we
gotta
got
go
to
for a
take
little
another break, so we'll be right back.
Who can you turn to for news you can trust? Your local TV and radio broadcasters. You trust us to keep you safe during times of crisis and to deliver the weather, sports, and entertainment you rely on every day. We bring you the facts you need to make decisions that matter. And as misinformation floods social media, you can trust your local stations to deliver the truth. Text TV to 52886 and tell Congress you rely on your local stations for trusted news.
Welcome back to Senior Break. All right, so we were talking about the entire estate plan, why it's important to have the entire estate plan and what's all included. It's not just the trust and your will. It's a combination of a variety of things. Are there any other, anything else that we need to know about the estate planning process or the estate plan itself or the documents?
I mean, I try to recommend, one thing I recommend to clients is to make it easy for your trustees and make it easy for your children. I give everyone a binder when they're all done with the estate planning documents. And I recommend, keeping a list of, these are where I keep my accounts. These are where I have this is who my accountant is. This is who my financial advisor is. And I see a lot of clients coming to my office when they met with previous attorneys, and their trusts are these huge, massive binders. They've never read their trusts, and they give them to me, and they ask, what does this say? So one of the things I do is my trusts are about. You've gotten one from me.
Yes.
My trust is about 13 pages. I try to keep it simple.
Okay.
And one thing that's important to me is that I want to make sure that you've read your trust before you signed it.
Yes.
And understood it.
Yeah, because if you came back, I would be very overwhelmed.
Yes. I want to know that you've understood it and you've read it, because this is a document you're signing. And you got to keep it simple, because this is something that your kids are going to have to be able to read and understand.
Right.
So that's something that's really important to me, is I try to talk to clients on their level and they understand things. I'm not here to talk above people when they meet with me, and I'm not here to try to be smarter than people when they meet with me. That's just not the kind of person that I am. So, and especially after people die too, when their kids come to talk with me, I want to make sure that they understand everything and that they understand what's going on.
So do you provide a short list in their estate plan that says, okay, who you are, and then your financial person, or those key people that should be noted in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And instructions for
Thank you.
after you die, this is what the steps are. You need to get an EIN, a tax ID number. You need to do this for the kids,
Gotcha.
of what to do upon the person's death.
Okay.
But you were talking about before, right? So that they
no,
know
this,
what
if she
accounts and
provides that document, so me now can go into that document and make sure that I put down Sullivan Law and put down who my financial planner is and any of those need to know information, so that if I pass, then my trustees or my
That's actually something I'm
beneficiaries-
working on in the new year.
Okay.
Will be providing my
Okay.
clients with
That's
that.
what I was asking.
Yeah.
If
Okay,
she
that's what I thought you were
If
asking.
she included it in that estate plan.
But what you answered was good, because when someone dies, how do you know what to do?
Right.
And so you said you've got a paper in there.
I'm
for
working on
after
that for the
person.
new year. Yeah.
Okay,
Like a
yeah.
booklet.
Yeah.
Because
that would
I
be-
did see that recently, an attorney that had provided that, I am dead, now what? It's a little booklet
Right.
that people provide.
That's awesome.
And I think that kids of the deceased, having that in there is helpful.
Right.
Yes.
Because,
Where do I go? What do I
Yeah.
do? What's next?
How many
and then
copies of
they can
something
come
do I
to
need?
me, but, after someone dies, they're helpless.
Right.
And, the easier you can make it for your family, the better. And not having these huge, massive binders and
Trying to,
Yeah.
and because even some of these attorneys, it's a lot of work that they put into it, but you got to make it simple for the family.
Right. I
So-
agree. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, just knowing, you don't even know how many copies of something you're gonna need, like the death certificate.
Exactly.
You know, you don't know
Exactly.
any
How
of
many
that.
copies
plus
do you
you're
need?
not in
Yeah.
a good state.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so
For sure.
that's really good.
For sure. Well, that's also great information, and I'm excited to hear that you're putting together this little like need to
Yeah.
know or what's next document.
Yeah.
That'd be great. So, all right. Well, where are you located, and how can those watching today get in contact with you?
Sure. So my office is really easy to find. It's downtown Oxford. It's this little blue house with white trim right behind Centennial Park. It's actually connected to what used to be Capstone Financial, but it's he renamed it to, I think it's I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank, but it's right beside, right behind Marrow.
Right in the parking lot.
In the parking lot.
In the parking lot.
Yes. It used to be a white house. Now it's blue house with white trim. You can't miss it. It's in the parking lot right behind Marrow in Centennial Park in downtown Oxford.
Yeah.
20 Hudson Street. And so the easiest way to enter my office is not from the Hudson Street side, it's from the parking lot side.
Right.
So
Yes.
when you're going to downtown Oxford, you can't miss it.
Right.
I mean, it stands out. It's right there.
Yes. Right there.
Right there.
Smack dab right in the middle of
Right in the heart of
Yep.
downtown Oxford.
Yes. Which is great. It's
Yeah.
a great location. And how they contact you?
The easiest way to contact me is either call my office at 248-917-1351 or send me an email at asullivan@sullivanlawonline.com. Either way, we can get in touch, schedule a consultation, or get connection one
Right.
way or another.
Now, I'll just quickly going back to the consultation. If I had a previous lawyer, and let's say they've retired now, can I bring that during the consultation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely bring that.
Okay. All right. And as I mentioned earlier, we did a segment this fall on how to avoid probate and properly plan your estate. We'll be back again offering that in January, on January the 21st at the Oxford Senior Center located in Seymour Lake Township Park. That will be at 3 p.m. If you're interested in coming out and listening to what Alaina has to say, she will be there to answer questions. She'll go through her presentation and provide you with whatever information you need at that time. And if January 21st doesn't work, she'll be back again on March the 25th. Again, 3 p.m. Contact the Parks and Recreation to get registered so she can plan accordingly. And a lot of great information comes out of those meetings because everybody has so many questions, and
Yes.
and that sparks something for somebody else, and now we're on to other topics and
And I
sharing a
know-
lot of knowledge.
I know seniors are always thinking of getting their trust, but how old should a person be when they start thinking of
That's a great
making a
question.
trust?
Right.
I mean, any age really. I mean, I've had clients have their kids who are 18 at least do a will. So anytime you own any property, there's no really minimum age is 18.
Okay.
So
And a will not go through probate either, is that it?
a will go through probate.
Oh,
But anytime you have property, you need to have some kind of beneficiary
Something.
on it.
Yeah.
One thing that I regularly do, and this isn't a trust, but one thing I regularly do to help people is power of attorney documents for people who have kids that go to college. I do that all the time come August
Yeah.
when people have kids that go to college because you can't make decisions for your college age children when they're 18.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm very busy in the fall, so
All right.
yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for
good.
coming out
Yes, this is
today. This
very
is
good.
great information. Thank you for sharing with us and
problem.
taking the time out of your busy schedule to come out and share with all of us. And again, feel free to reach out to her. The phone number again was 248.
248-917-1351.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and
Thank
we'll
you,
see you
Alaina.
next time.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for having me.
Bye-bye.